Hey Gemini. I typically read for Gemini ladies. But if you find yourself being someone who identifies as a Gemini male, whatever that means to you, then you can hang around and see if there's something here for you. I do guidance readings. It's different from tarot. Guidance readings. What's the difference? Well, there's typically some form of guidance on how to handle a situation and not just what's gonna happen. It's gonna come around, you know? Which is nice. This is for July 2018. And if you're new to my channel, I read differently from other people. And if you're new to my channel, this is a different format from how I do it. So you're gonna be mad confused. But if you embrace the fact that this is gonna be a different type of read, you'll be less confused. Alright, tell me about Gemini. July guidance 2018 for Gemini. Watching this video. You have to surrender to something. It's a heavy surrender. Possibly having to leave a group, a tribe, and being flexible with yourself and not being too rigid this month. Being flexible in whatever situation this is that we're getting guidance on. Oh, passion wanted to flip up. It is possibly letting go of a group, walking away from it. Some sense of rejection, abandonment, or something like that. But it might be you coming to terms with the fact that this is not a group for you anymore. This could do with finances and career, and you are coming to terms with the fact that, again, this could not be the group for you anymore. Why do I say that? We got, well, elaborating on that is, this could be the one in reverse. At the end of the reading, I'm going to tell you, or sometime during the reading, I'm going to tell you what cards showed up, going in the order of category. So, upright versus downright. This is reversed. I mean, ugh. And, just so you have an idea of what cards. Yeah, you're uncertain about the future and maybe even about the past, about how you wound up in this situation with these people that are no longer serving you anymore. I feel like there has been an end to deception in this finances and careers. This could be about your finances and career. It affects those things anyway. They're a factor, and you are having to surrender, and you are needing to kind of ask yourself, oh, babe. Asking yourself why. Why you wound up in this situation, how you wound up here, what it is about you, your needs that weren't met or were met, or whatever, that wound you up in this position, and moving forward from it, you are called to surrender, a heavy surrender. So perhaps you've been trying to make it work in this relationship, this facet of your life. It's just, and this could actually really be doing with finances and career. This card rarely shows up, so when it does, I take it quite seriously. We're friends now. If this is about romance, this could still be the same thing. Just take the essence of what I'm saying. You are being asked to be encouraged in this shift that that's happening for you, and you are in the flow. So that's a good thing. It just might be painful for you to realize that you have to leave this dynamic, this thing, possibly due to other people and their issues, other people dumping on you or projecting on you, because it's out of alignment with what you want and who you are now, or who you will be becoming. Encouragement is here, definitely giving you encouragement over this situation. It's just, it feels heavy. It feels heavy. It may have been weighing on your soul for quite some time. you got both my like despair-ish cards. It's not time to look at the details right now. Trying to be perfect isn't helping. It hasn't been helping. There is no perfect in this circumstance. It's about broad strokes at this moment in time, and to be grounded but flexible. Right? It's not the time to jump or fly necessarily. It's time to be grounded and real, and looking at the reality of things this month. Looking at the reality of things even as it pertains to the future. Oh wow, that's crazy. We have 17, 18, 19, and 20. 17 is pointing in the direction of the flow, so I feel like you are in the flow, or you're getting into the flow. And I think you can look at the future and use whatever the situation is to inform the future. So what you did like about this situation, what you don't like about this situation, really get to the meats and bones of why you don't like it or why you liked it. You know, what is real for you about that, and the aspects that you enjoyed, the aspects that you didn't enjoy, why you didn't enjoy them, why you did enjoy them, and use that to create where you're going, to create this future that doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't exist. Well, I think a future does not exist anymore, and you are in transit. I feel like you are heading towards something, and you are in the flow. Okay, you are in the flow of life. I see 5 and 6. Yeah, I feel like you fought this. You really tried to fight for this, but it's not for you anymore, and a part of you has realized this. You've let go of the deception, and you've unveiled the mask, and you're just kind of in that hell of realizing that, damn, this really isn't for me anymore this month, if you haven't already. So it's not for you. There's a heavy surrender here, and a call to align, and let go even. You're called to be in the flow and be flexible about what the flow might look like, which speaks to the details in reverse, which talks about broad strokes. You don't have to know all the details. You don't have to have all the details sorted. Just broadly and open, and the broader it is, the more, like, still have some boundaries around it, right? Like some sort of something, but I feel like it's about being flexible with the next steps here. Being flexible with yourself and not being too rigid about what it has to be next. That may have been something that got you in this mess to begin with, being too rigid about it. Maybe this thing checked out all the things on the list that you had, but it's no longer serving you. It's no longer what you wanted. You thought this could be the one, but it's not. It's just not, or it's not anymore. I feel like it's just not. You may have believed it was, you may have thought it was, you may have wanted it to be, but it's not. And it's time to move, to be more authentic to you. And that is going to be rooted in reality, being grounded about things, what's actually real for you. Who wants to talk? I think you want to talk. As much as we engage, I never know. I mean, it just seems like it's been plaguing your mind for quite some time, you know? Yeah, self-criticism and the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas, where you've been crucifying yourself over this decision and holding on and fighting for it. Did I mention that earlier, that you've been really fighting for this? But now you're called to have a deep surrender to it. Like, it's just, whatever it is about this has fallen through. You're being encouraged because you are entering the flow of things. You are in the flow of things this month. It's just there's a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. I'm reading the never-ending story. It's the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of that is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Please do. Fear is all it's known. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part. Small and vulnerable and easily soothed. And I do feel like there is something to do here with people, for sure, for sure. Because that card is in sideways. So I'm asking you to look at reality. I'm asking you to do this. If there are people around you doing a certain thing and you're still not in the mode that you need to see what it is reality-wise, I'm going to need you to do this, right? Look at your surroundings, imagine them, or as you're sitting in them. And I'm not saying the room that you're sitting in listening to this now, like in your bedroom or whatever. I mean like this situation. Call it to mind, or when you're in it next time, turn down the volume. Reduce the volume, reduce what people are saying, and look at their vibe, look at their body language, look at what they're doing. And that could tell you more of the reality of things and get you to the ground of the matter, as opposed to kind of being up in the air about certain things. I do feel like you are grounded in this thing, or you're gonna be grounded. You're called to be grounded. You're just also called to be flexible and not rigid in whatever decision you make moving forward. At the heart of the reading is being imperfect. At the heart of the reading is not being perfect, rather. People get triggered by not being imperfect. I know I do. I'm saying here encouragement. You're being encouraged. You are in the flow of things. It feels like a part of you is not pushing anymore. Maybe you have already surrendered to this and you just needed some encouragement to know that you're going in the flow direction, which you are. Just be flexible. If this is something that you've already done this month by the time you're listening to this, be flexible in your next choices and stay grounded. And look at your why. Look at how you wound up in that situation, and not from a place of, oh, I suck, I always do. No, from an empowered place of, okay, let me see what felt good, what felt bad, why it felt good, why it felt bad, and then you make decisions from a place where you know yourself better. Let's look at Orphaned. A sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. Sure. We're all meant to have connections with other people within our families, societies, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is that you need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. Okay. I feel like reading the prosperity message for this because this does say finances and career. So this card reminds you that you can't be all things to all people. You're not going to be popular with everyone, and that has to be okay with you. Be clear about your mission, your brand, your work persona, and your contribution to the world, as these must be based on what you authentically have to offer, not something you think will sell or you perceive they may want. You will attract abundance by being completely yourself, 100%. Stay in your own lane. That's where you will shine and where you'll experience prosperity. Okay. This, in terms of a romantic, could be you discovering that you no longer share the same values as someone who used to fulfill you in romance just no longer fulfills you in the way that they used to, or this bond no longer fulfills you in the way that it used to. So what are you going to do about it? You could be flexible about it and stay grounded. Look at the reality of things. Are they too busy? Are you too busy? Have you slipped up somewhere? Have they slipped up somewhere? You know, what are the forces around this? I'm not telling you to leave this relationship, but I'm calling you to surrender to whatever this is. You know what that looks like. Whatever you've been fighting. But it also feels like you're entering the flow. So whatever it is that if it is about that, or even about the prosperity or finances and career, wherever this is hitting for you, it might just be, and not for you, not now. Surrender to it, to the flow. And be flexible and stay grounded. And it's not time to be perfect. Things are gonna be imperfectly perfect right now. But you are moving in the flow of things. It looks like this July you are gonna be moving into the flow of things. So do that several times. Yeah, because right now you're misaligned. You're misaligned. I love these numbers here. It's wonderful. I'm gonna look at Never Ending Story, the prosperity. Fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could be all active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Maybe you're afraid of all the good that is coming your way, so you step out of your lane, totally aware of what you're doing, but seemingly powerless to stop yourself. Are you back where you started, or in a situation that reminds you of past failures? Financial insecurity scaring you? You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. Absolutely. Use criticism constructively right now. That's why I'm saying when you look at the why of how you wound up in this situation, or what your needs are, why they are what they are, whatever that questioning is, look at it objectively with love, bro. Like, there's no sense in you crucifying yourself more than you may have been, or more than you really need to. You don't need to crucify yourself. When your kid comes to you and they do something, you're not, look, I'm hoping that you're not throwing up a shitstorm for not for no reason, but like, they're a kid. They're literally, that's the first time that they've experienced that thing. Like, they're new humans, you know? They're new. You have to divvy out that same sense of kindness and gentleness to yourself. You're new in certain areas. You're brand new, so you want to know why you do what you're doing. Now, as someone who's not necessarily brand new, in that you have a past and it's influencing the decisions you're making. This is why I have my membership, by the way, to step into our sovereignty, shake that stuff off, and actually act from a place of control. This is my tip for you. Again, forgive your story, look at it, and say, okay, what about this current situation is reflecting to me something that happened before? And how can I, flip this? This is how that forgiving and learning starts. So whatever the situation is, look at the why of it, how it started, why it started, whatever it is for you, and discern that. Go within. Like, just be open to it. If this is about another person and it concerns another person and another entity, a physical being who you can speak to, then maybe even consider exploring that with them. If you've been exploring that with them in a you don't then you need to probably surrender that. Okay, if you've been going at it alone, it might be worth bringing it up. Anyway, better yet, stop telling the story altogether. Make up a new one. Yes. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story, and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. So this is what this reading is saying for me. It's basically saying whatever's happening this month in this situation where you might be feeling that you need to leave something, that you need to reject something, that you need to walk away from a group, a community, or a situation that you've been involved with for quite some time that's been giving you some level of grief. It could be someone who's been kind of ragging. It could be whether or not they know they're doing it or not, but you've been involved mentally with someone or something, and they've been stressing you out. Their monkeys have been stressing you out. Them's their monkeys, man. Focus. If it's your monkeys, then breathe, right? We breathed earlier. Do that this month. And trust in the imperfection of things. Like, things are imperfect right now, and that has to be okay. Surrender to what is. Be encouraged. Encouragement here is at the heart of this reading. And it flows into being in the flow and being flexible. Water is flexible. Be flexible. Channel water. Tune into water. And stay grounded. Right? This is not the time for grandiose. This is the time for just ground. Stay grounded. Stay in reality. If reality sucks, what I'm saying is, like, if you're going to create the future, create it from a place of knowledge, of knowing where you're at. Otherwise, you're creating some frivolous future that has no basis in the present. Now, There's many ways like you could say that, because our futures can be so different from what the present is that there's no possible way for us to ever create the future. Only the divine can have created it, because you're like, how the hell did I get from here to there? This is one of those moments where you need to look at where you're at and decipher what's here for you. So that once you get into the flow, like once you're even deeper into the flow and what's yours is coming, because you're being encouraged here for whatever situations you're going through. Once that pops off, then you are prepared to to leave the old story behind. Thank you. Never ending story. So, if you aren't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you if you are into this. You don't have to if you don't want to. I like people who are into this and that vibe here. Because I do lives and I like to tune into my people's energy. I'm not trying to serve. I'm not trying to be all things to all people. I'm really not. I like my community. So the cards here that are here for you are, so if you want to subscribe, you can click the bell so you can be alerted to my lives. I like to do free readings on there. And I have some of the best subscribers, and I feel like if you are my people, you are one of those people. And Super Chat is awesome. I love Super Chat. It's such a treat and a gift. It's just, if you were to make a donation on there or a gift, YouTube takes about 50%. So if you're okay with that, cool. But I did recently add a donation link because people were asking. Multiple people were asking, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm denying you something that you won't. So, there it is for you. The cards here that are in the upright are finances and career, orphaned, encouragement, magic stream, flexible. That's it. It's a lot of protection. And then sideways cards. In the reverse and protection is deception from the romance angels. This could be the one for the romance angels. And then we have details, why, not for you, and flying. In the wonky position, all pointing towards the right, in the sideways position rather, is ghostlands, peace, and never-ending story. So if you would like a personal reading for yourself and whatever's going on in your world, not whatever, obviously within reason. The information for that is in the description box below. You click the little arrow, you go all the way down, and that's where the information is, after like my little disclaimers. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it if you're into that. And I will see you next time. I will talk to you next time. I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope you found value here. Okay? Oh, alright, honey. Keep your light on, and good luck.